3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. And, did my transition wrong there. A little behind the scenes. Foo bars. That's what we do here. It's just, this is some schmo pretending to be a YouTuber, reading comics in the wee hours of the night, hanging out, and getting to the privilege of spending time with you guys. That's my blessing. Hopefully I can give back something to earn this blessing that I have. Thank you guys for being here. I know I say that all the time. I know that's like a common thing. Anyone who does YouTubes or podcasts or whatever, this type of thing, it's like the thing you hear. I listen to a lot of YouTubers, and I don't do podcasts quite so much anymore. I used to be a big podcast guy, but YouTube kind of killed it. You know that song, Video Killed the Video Killed the Radio Star? Yeah, I remember. Video killed the radio star. I feel like YouTube killed the podcast star, but not quite. I mean, there's still a ton of podcasts. I just don't really know many people that listen to podcasts anymore. You know, Joe Rogan is like the biggest podcaster in the world, and he's making millions of dollars. But I argue that the reason he's the hugest podcaster in the world is because of his YouTube. I think the reason why podcasters are still around is, they would be around if YouTube was gone. But I think YouTube has replaced them in a fashion that's allowed them to coexist. Like, you can be a podcaster as long as you're also doing like your YouTube. Like all the big podcaster guys, their podcasts play on YouTube. This is kind of what I'm doing here. It's like a podcast essentially. This is really designed to listen in. Not really. It's not a video content per se. Although I do time to time throw up some images and whatnot, but kind of forget where I was going in with this. Let's go in the weeds. That's what happens when you get old. Well, instead of sitting here going, oh, what was I thinking of? Let's just get right back to the chat. See who I'm blessed with today. Jimmy, Superman's best pal, is here. He's first. It's been a long time since Jimmy has been first. Have you ever been first before, Jimmy? Now, I'm not asking if you've been to first base. I'm asking you. No, never mind. Eric Breen is number 2. Wait, I don't mean that he's number 2 like he's shit. I mean he's the second place. Sorry, Eric Breen. You know what I meant. Marania is third and best, she says. You keep telling yourself that, Marania, and we will not disagree with you. LK is here. Good to see you, LK. Tehillim is in the house. I don't know why I had to say it that way. He says, stream needs more America Chavez for Eric, more Iron Man for Marania, more Bendis for Quirks, more Super Sons, I guess, for Tehillim. Let's see. Marania says, I did suggest issues 20 to 25 of Fraction Run Tehillim. Marania, I just read the last comic, the last, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes right now, the last arc of Ash on Comics Live, of Storytime Live, was Matt Fraction Iron Man. Like, I feel like I'm being treated like, oh, he just doesn't listen to us. He never gives us what we want. Ronnie says, but yes, more Super Sons. Super Sons is, I will say, Super Sons is on, I don't want to say it's on deck, but it's in the, I have a group of, I put books, ideas that I want to do, and I'm thinking of getting to, and it's in that group. I don't know what I'd call it. So there's a very strong likelihood that we'll get to some Super Sons. I do have them. The fortunate thing is I have Super Sons on comics. I double dipped on them. I have them on Comixology, not just hard copies. That's kind of the challenge a lot of the time. Let's see. Got some Super Sons live streams on my channel. Is this Tehillim? Oh, I didn't know you were doing Super Sons live streams. Tehillim. Let's see. Ronnie says, who do we get to blame? So Ash1138, that's my private account, my private YouTube. That's my dog. If you want to know what my dog looks like in the little thumbnail there. So that's Ash1138's me. That's my dog. Her name's Kuro. I've talked about her before, so now you know what she looks like. That picture was taken in Colorado. That's why she's got snow all over her face. And anyways, so Ronnie wants to know who we get to blame. And I said blame Trump because, this works. He's the guy you can blame for everything. Let's see. LK says the current Captain Marvel, volume 10 at this point, is one of the worst written books on the market. So disappointing they keep giving her to hack women writers. LK, I'm going to say what's disappointing is that you read that shit. No one should read shit. Stop. Stop reading crap. You do what you want. It's your life. When I say this, I don't mean I'm like trying to order you around, but Marvel makes this stuff because people keep buying it and reading it and talking about it. It has to fail utterly. It has to fail more than other books have to fail because we all know that these books are being pushed out with an agenda, right? There's a reason why Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, well, it might be canceled now. I can't tell with the whole COVID thing. I think it went on hiatus. I don't know. Maybe it's still coming out. But Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur has been getting sub 10,000 numbers for years. It doesn't even make the top 500. I think is it 500? Sometimes its sales are so abysmal, but because they're pushing their little agenda, it gets to stay. It doesn't have to meet the same metrics, right? It's like women in the military. And before you think I'm getting all misogynist, I'm sorry. The military is a physical combat role. It's designed to have the toughest physical brutes. If you're in the infantry, right? If you're, and then they lowered the qualifications so that women could meet the qualifications. That's the same thing. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur doesn't have to meet the same qualifications as, say, I don't know, any other book that's, got a male superhero. If Daredevil was getting 8,000 sales, it would not be running right now. In fact, Marvel often cancels books with 30,000 sales. But that's where I'm going. Just stop. Just please, just encourage you. Stop. Here. I'm going to tell you to stop reading. I'm telling you to start reading better comics. That's a positive way to spin it, right? Like, I'm not saying stop reading it. Saying, you know what? There's better stuff than that that you can go read. I'm on day, I don't know what day it is, day number 25 of my torturous run of the sequel to The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra. Oh my God. Oh, it's so awful. It is. The only thing that makes it palatable, like, it's not palatable. The only thing that makes it somewhat worthwhile to watch it, other than the fact that I get to watch it with my friends' kids who are like nieces and nephews to me. In fact, I might just refer them as my nieces and nephews, though they're not biologically my niece and nephew. He's my buddy. He's like my brother. He's probably my closest family. I get to share that with them and see some enjoyment, even though that's a double-edged sword in of itself, because I hate the fact that they're like liking this crap, and I'm like, oh, I want to be poisoning them with this stuff. The first Avatar, Last Airbender, whatever. The first Avatar series was pretty decent, and it had some good little, moral stories, like fable type parables, I guess would be the right way to say it. Little stories, there are a lot of little parables, life lessons, these kids going on this journey with Aang, the Last Airbender, and his friends, and they would encounter different things, and they would learn things, just life, things that we have to learn in life, unfortunately, right? That not everyone's a nice person. Some people deceive us and tell lies, and they have ulterior motives, and they do these really cool stories, and these kids are very innocent, right? And so, yeah, if you've seen you know what I'm talking about. Korra is basically like modern Marvel. If The Last Airbender is like classic Marvel, then this Korra feels, it's so night and day. I mean, it's the same universe. It's like 80 years in the future, and now we got this new avatar. Her name's Korra, and of course, she's perfect at everything, and she's just the best. And she's one of the most insufferable characters that I've ever seen since Carl Manverse. Like, she behaves just the same. She's constantly wanting to punch everything. I mean, her demeanor is like Joe Biden. Anytime someone confronts her, she's just like, "Oh, don't fight." And I'm like, Jesus, like, to say that her behavior is masculine is not even correct. Like, that in itself would be bad. Like, you just shouldn't write women like men. But it's the cartoonish, toxic masculinity that the progressive writers always talk about. She literally has that. Like, she's that cartoonish, toxic, masculine, always wanted to answer things with their fists. And I'm just like, but it's okay because she's a girl. So no one ever looks at it and goes, "Oh my God." Meanwhile, every male in the story, and I'm without a doubt, every male in the story, except for the villains. I'm trying to think of one of the exceptions. There's always an exception to the rule. I'm trying to think before one's not coming to mind. Every male in the story is just a buffoon. They're constantly failing, don't know what they're talking about, messing up. I mean, one of the storylines, I think it was in season 2 or maybe it was the first season, one of them, Korra is literally like siding against her own dad. Her own dad. Because, well, what does he know? He's just some man. It's like, and then what's funny is he ends up turning out to be right. Like, as the story's going on, you're like, oh, maybe dad just doesn't really understand what's going on, because that's another thing. Adults don't know shit. Like, adults are just, we're adults, which I'm like, I forgive it because it's a kid's story, and it's like, okay, it's a kid's fantasy, and what do kids fantasize about? Knowing more than adults. That's like part of that feeds into their fine. Okay, fine. But he ends up later turning out to be right. Does she ever recognize that? No. She continues to just be insufferable. So every time I watch these episodes, I'm just like, oh God, this is what I imagine reading Captain Marvel is like. Anyway, I don't want to spend so much time on that book, but I just need an outlet because I don't want to ruin it for them. Like, I don't want to just be watching it and having the demeanor you guys get to hear. Like, I don't want to, just be like, oh, he's shitting on our show that we like. Let's see. The Skip is here. Skipper's here. Does that make Ash Gilligan? Probably. I'm kind of a Gilligan guy. Let's see. Makes Eric the Professor. Oh, yeah. That would make. Melissa's here. Hey, Melissa. She says, Ash, I'm going to have to skip the stream tonight. I'm super tired. But you guys have a great stream. Bye-bye, guys, and happy holidays. Oh, well, I'm sorry. We're going to miss you, Melissa. But hope you get some rest if you're still here to hear me. You can always play it back later if you want. I got some good books, but we'll see you later. Thanks for being a strong regular. I appreciate everyone that watches, especially the ones that come back for more. Let's see. Eric says, when does Gilligan come on? Well, Gilligan got lost in the aisle, so he took a while to find his way back to the beach. Here's hoping Walmart is on the ball and delivers the gift my husband's boss promised us: pots, pans, and baking pans. Yeah, I think Walmart will be on the ball. Now, the delivery service, I don't know. Now that the election's over and rioters aren't, just stopping the traffic and robbing delivery vehicles, you'll probably be fine. Eric Green says 3-hour tour. Stream. Hey man, you need to pipe down with your making fun of my stream lengths, Mr. I stream regularly for 7 hours on a Saturday. My streams are not that long. Usually the stream goes on about 2 hours. That's not too long. And our skipping Ash, whatever, the stream I do with Skip, he keeps me in line, makes me better. We do that. It's like about an hour and a half. That's not too bad. Let's see. Jimmy says, so Ash. ... Don't know how to address that. Skip says, I bought the stream 2 books for you to read, Ash. I did see that. I got this. I got your text when I was driving, so I couldn't respond. And I was like, okay, I got to remember when I get home, just stop and respond. And then my sketchy brain, I forget things all the time. So Eric knows what I'm saying. So I'm addressing you now with my voice. Thank you for that. I'm going to get on top of that. Very much appreciated. And I think hopefully the people, even in the audience, will be more appreciated. It's a gift for them. But I didn't want you to feel like I feel bad. Like I feel like I flaked. So thank you. I'll talk to you more later off the stream. Let's see. Skip says, Eric Breen, tell Jimmy to set up the next Hangout stream so we can get the Sinister Six back together. I want to do a Hangout stream. Does anyone want to do a Hangout stream with me? Not jealous. Totally not jealous. Never watched Legend of Korra to heal him? Don't. Just don't. Don't. Last Airbender animated series was amazing. I didn't find it amazing. I think if I were 12 years old, I would have found it amazing. I think it's a very, very good series for a kid. It's solid. I did enjoy it as a middle-aged man. So it was good. Like I appreciated it. I think it's actually was better. I'll say that it's like better than the Clone Wars. And the reason I mention that is because Dave Filoni, one of the big Star Wars guys over there, the animated stuff, who did the Clone Wars animated series and Rebels. He's one of the guys on Last Airbender, and he directed and wrote a lot of the episodes. And I was like, oh wow, these are way better. This is like more Star Wars than Star Wars. The Last Airbender has a very strong Star Wars influence, which is not a bad thing, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Like I'm like, oh okay. It almost felt like the writers, whoever created it, was like, I would like to do a Star Wars show, except I don't have the rights to do Star Wars. So let me come up with my own world and characters. And hey, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about doing I'm doing the same thing. I can't write, I want to write Star Wars so bad because it's my favorite thing. And I mean I can, but all it'll ever be is fan fiction. I would love to. So I'm like, well, you know what? I could just create my own world has some similarities. Of course, then people will call me a big ripoff and a hack. Whatever. Who cares? Not like I'm ever going to see the light of day. I would love the opportunity to be published and be called a hack. That's what always gets me about these comic book creators, right? That they're always sitting on Twitter and shitting on the fans and stuff like that. It's like, dude, I would love the opportunity to get my work out there and be published and have people go, dude, this shit sucks. Like, yes, it would hurt my feelings. I don't want anyone to tell me my shit sucks. But the fact that you made it that far, right? The fact that you went from just some dude in your house wishing you could get something published to you are now published by a reputable publisher who appreciates your work for good or ill. Like, I think, first of all, if I'm at that point, someone's going to like it. It's not like I'm going to have zero fans or, people who appreciate the work. I'm going to have no matter who you are, you're going to have haters, right? Look at J.K. Rowling, right? Who else, when it comes to writing books or publishing books, J.K. Rowling is like the Michael Jackson of books. And I say that from a sales standpoint. Right? Michael Jackson came on the scene, and Thriller to this day is still the biggest selling album of all time. Might be the biggest selling album forever. That record may never be broken. Well, I mean, it's possible it probably will just because of populations and stuff, but maybe not. I don't know. That Thriller it's a huge record. Like J.K. Rowling, same thing with the Harry Potter books. Like, they're so far and away outsold like everything else. Like nothing even comes close. So, but even she's got tons of haters. She's got more haters than most successful. Like she probably has more haters than Stephen King has fans. That's saying something because she's one of the top guys. That's how big she is. But she's got a million haters. I would love to have that opportunity. You know what? I would love to be Rian Johnson. Not just because I respect The Last Jedi. I think he's a really good writer and a filmmaker, and he's underappreciated. But my point is so many people hate. So many Star Wars fans are like, F what you did, Ryan. The Last Jedi is the worst movie I ever saw. I'm just like, that would suck. It would hurt my feelings. And I understand why Ryan got all butthurt, because he went from this little indie director guy to being thrown right into the spotlight. I mean, fans, it's brutal. They broke George Lucas. They sold Star Wars. They broke him. He didn't want to do Star Wars anymore after the prequels because fans were so vicious. But maybe it's because I'm at the bottom looking up instead of the top looking down. And just circle back to the whole Carl Manvers and the Korra thing. Like, I don't think I deserve anything. I don't think that I'm the shit. And it's not all about me. I want to do something and I want people to like it, but I don't care about glory and people going, "You're the best, Ash." It's nice that some people go, "Hey, yeah, I like what you do." Like this whole channel, what I'm talking to you guys right now, if I get 25 people to watch this, like if it's 25 people that say, "You know what, Ash, this was worth my 2 hours of time I gave you." Wow, that's a huge flatter. Like I'm like, I think last time I checked, there were 7 million YouTube accounts, or not account, like people like make YouTube videos. I'm just like, so I'm one of the 7 million that you picked. Nice. I'm sure millions of those are people who made like Eric Breen, who made like 5 videos, or something. But regardless, I mean, even if there were just a couple hundred, I mean, you guys could be going watching PewDiePie right now. Why would you watch PewDiePie? Let's face it. Come on, PewDiePie's got nothing on me. TLM says, "Where's RDV hiding?" I don't know, man. He's got the coof, though. So maybe he's dying, because, COVID is one of the deadliest diseases we've ever seen. It's just wiping out humanity wholesale. It's taking names. So, no, I kid about this because I don't want to make light. There are people who have very sadly, tragically died of COVID. And I don't make light of anyone who's lost a family member, loved one, friend. It's sad. It's terrible. But people have died of the cold. People die. And it's always sad when people die, no matter what. That doesn't mean we have to say, "Oh, I'll never make a joke about the cold." So I'm not being insensitive to that. I'm just more figuring Venkman is in the demographic where he's got like a 99.997% chance to survive, or some ridiculous high survival rate. It's probably even higher because that number is only calculated in the known cases. And it's estimated, they said 40% of people that get COVID never even knew they had COVID. That's crazy when you think about it. 40% of the people who have COVID or who have had it at some point didn't even know they had it. So that tells me it's like, okay, well, if the survival rate, you're basing the survival rate based on the known number of cases versus the known number of deaths. Well, there's a couple factors. We know for a fact, beyond any sort of reasonable doubt, that the numbers are inflated on the deaths. I mean, if you have COVID and you die of a heart attack because you're an old person with heart disease, but you have COVID, you will be categorized as a COVID death. Pretty much everyone that dies with COVID, not because COVID killed you, but because you had COVID when you died, is counted as a COVID death. That means the number of deaths is greatly inflated. As a matter of fact, several months back ago, the CDC released numbers that the media didn't really report to anyone because it goes against the narrative. The CDC reported that only about 10% of the deaths for COVID were actual COVID deaths, not due to a comorbidity. Comorbidity being kind of what I just described. So 10% of the actual number that we're seeing. Then you factor the other side of the coin, where it's like how many people even have COVID or who've ever gotten it. Well, that number is obviously higher than the number we have, because if 40% of the people never even knew they had it, that means I could have had COVID at some point, and I didn't even know. Who knows? You know, my buddy who I is a roommate of mine, he works in the medical industry. He goes to the hospital 5 days a week. He's highly, exposed. I could have got COVID at some point. Didn't know. So, but if that's the case, it's not going to be calculated in. You see what I'm saying? So there could be millions and millions of people who've contracted it, didn't know it, doesn't get reported in the numbers. So when you subtract both of those out, that means that survival rate number would actually be even higher. And that's actually why the survival rate number continues to go up, is because in the beginning, we only had so many sample cases. Like, oh, okay, we know 1,000 people have had COVID, and out of those 1,000, 100 people died. So it's like, oh my God, 1 in 100 people die of COVID. Well, that's because you didn't know that there was actually several thousand more people who had it you didn't know about. And so hopefully you understand where I'm going. I'm not going to keep drowning on this. But suffice it to say, I think Venkman's going to be all right. Another interesting fact, if you go and you look up the annual death toll in America, 2020 hasn't gone up. Like, since I posted an infographic a while back on Twitter. Since 1950 to today, 1950 to 2020, you have peaks and valleys. Some years are more than others, but it's not like 2020 is some extraordinarily high death toll year, which you'd expect based on what you're hearing on the news. Like, oh my God, 200 and what is it? What are we up to? 280 million deaths now? Not a million. I just did a Biden. 280,000 deaths. You'd think, oh, okay, well, that's 280,000 deaths above all the other people who have died, who normally die every year for various reasons. No, it's actually pretty much on par with the number of deaths in 2019. So that's really weird that all the other death rates have gone way down so that we can have COVID and it equalizes. Things that make you go, And if you know that reference, you get a brownie. Quirks, what about Wednesday? So when we go long, we won't have to conflict with Gilligan's Stream. Skip says, I'm free Wednesday. Oh. I'm not super free, kind of free, a little bit free. So I have these dogs that I'm house sitting, and tomorrow they get picked up from their owner. So that's kind of why tomorrow is a little bad for me. I don't even know the exact time, but I don't even know if you guys want me. I haven't been invited. What am I talking about? Let's see. RDV, if you are listening, hope you are getting better. Ash, you are part of the Sinister Six. I am? Yay. That sounded really gay. Says, you might like the animated series Dragon Prince. Maybe. I'm really wary about these Netflix originals. Netflix has really got some woke shit. Let's see. I wouldn't say it's worth 2 hours of my night, but maybe an hour 59 minutes. You jerk. Ash is lucky we give him 321 minute of our time. I am lucky. I do. I honestly, I'm lucky for every minute you guys give me of your attention. I don't pretend I'm some sort of famous superstar entertainer. I'm just a schmo. I'm just really here to hang out with you guys and talk. Let's see. Eric Breen says, 208 million? Come on, man. If you're not dying of COVID, you ain't dying. Was my Biden impression semi-okay? Hopefully. Let's see. Skip says, "Oh, don't feel bad. Life is moving fast for all of us in a hectic holiday season, but those books are a Christmas gift for you and the loyal viewers who up every week here." I'm guessing he meant who show up every week here. Thanks, y'all. Skip is a bit of a saint. He would never say so himself, but I'm gonna say it for him. And he's a good guy, so I'm glad I got to meet Skip. I guess one of the best things about being part of the comic aficionados once upon a time was being introduced to Skip. And just this is one of the best things about doing these YouTubes and stuff is networking and meeting you guys. So all of you guys, I mean, I guess I have to single someone out here. Now I got to give everyone equal attention. I feel like that's what I have to do with the dogs. All right, this one got a treat. Now I got to give this one. So, but Skip's a good guy. Doug Johnson is in the house. He says he has that good Batacathic care. I forget how he said that. That was funny though. What was the one big one that he messed up? Shoot the pressure. I can't. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Somehow he said it. We still don't know what he meant. Shoot the pressure. Oh my goodness. Let's look into some comics. Did you guys get any good Black Friday sales? I never heard. I think I asked this last time. Cyber Monday was yesterday. There's still some Cyber Monday sales going on. Are you guys getting any of those? I'm going to take a look over at Comixology on their sales. I like to do this every once in a while. Man, Valiant is still having a fantastic sale. It only lasts a couple more days. I mean, whole trade paperbacks for $1. I urge you. This is the best era of Valiant, in my opinion. This 2012 under Dinesh Shamdasani. You want to talk about a name that's hard to say? I feel like I'm saying Biden when I say this guy. Dinesh Shamdasani. Anyways, yeah, just dude, I urge you. This Bloodshot, this Volume 1 Bloodshot, fantastic. If you don't know, you're like, I'm not sure, like Bloodshot's interesting. I don't know anything about him. This is his origin story. It's Bloodshot year 1 essentially, and it's cool. They took a character that I was like, he just looks like he's a Punisher ripoff. Oh, but he's got healing powers. So he's like, what if Punisher was like Wolverine? Like, but it's so much more like yes, from a power standpoint, there's that. But I think like what he is and why he does the things that he does is so interesting. There's a neat twist reveal to the whole Bloodshot thing that is cool. It kind of tickles my fancy because I really love the concept of like what is reality, right? Like the Matrix talked about, like how do you know that what you know is actually what you know? Right? And I have this saying that I've made up a long time ago, and I've just say it to myself all the time. It's not like a popular saying, but it's how do you know when you're being deceived? And it's one of those questions that I've just asked myself for the longest time, and I don't think I love it. I love it because I feel there's not an answer to it. Because once you know you're being deceived, you're no longer deceived, right? So how do you know when you're being deceived? You don't. That's the whole point of being deceived. And it's one of those things I like to live by because it always makes me question things. Question what I know. And Bloodshot has a kind of a cool theme to it about his agenda, why he does the things that he does is based on his perception of the world. But is his perception real? Like it's cool. I don't really know 4001 AD. This was Wes's Overthinking Critical, his favorite comic. Well, no, it was Rye, but this was part of it. Rye exists in 4001 is of the year. So Valiant has their future world. This is something I really do want to check out, though. But look, 99 cents. Harbinger is apparently it's Next Men before or after Next Men. It's basically Valiant's version of X-Men. Anyways, check it out. I did the Exo Man War earlier on one of the episodes. Like way early on, I did Exo Man War on here, so I read that first volume. That's a fantastic. I used to think Exo was stupid. He had a dumb. I was like, he's called Exo Man War, dumb. Oh look, he's got his stupid. He's like an Iron Man suit, except it looks stupid. You know, like I'm an Iron Man fan. Like I started buying Iron Man as a kid because that suit looks so badass. I was like, oh, I want to read something called. I was like, Exo Man looks dumb. But then I read Robert Venditti's Exo. I was like, oh, never mind. He's way cool. So yeah, check it out. What other? Oh, I don't have the transition. Derp derp. I'm a derpy. Derpy derp. Let's see. Skip says the pleasure and the privilege is mine, my good friend. See how good, sort of good guy he is. He inspires me to be better. I'm gonna get all mushy. Oh look, we got a DC Batman Catwoman sale. Aw, it's just in time to celebrate Batwoman and Catwoman. Beep. I can't say it for myself. Did you hear about that comment? the stupid stupid Tom King tweeted out that Batman and Catwoman fuck. I was like, what a completely non-appropriate thing to tweet out in promotion of a mainstream comic book, like a Batman comic book. Dude, I'm not buying. What I miss Stan Lee. Like, I know he was never at DC. Like, well, I mean, he did write some books for DC, but you know what I'm saying? He was never at DC. But what the hell's happened to comics? Where you get a tweet out, oh, Batman and Catwoman, fuck. That's your tweet. I was like, that's how you're selling the book? Not like, oh, we in this series we explore the deep, emotional, underpinnings of this relationship that's based on a forbidden love scenario where Batman is pledged himself against crime and stopping it, and Catwoman, of course, is a lifetime criminal. But sometimes what the mind says and the heart wants are conflicted, and so we're going to explore that in this story between these two characters, and could they ever possibly be together, and how? No, it's they fuck. Oh, thanks, Tom. You sound like you're really have a really deep idea. maybe we can just have Clayman draw a porno, and you just don't even have to write anything. We can just have a bunch of sex scenes. Maybe we can have Clayman just re-illustrate the Kama Sutra, but put Batman and Catwoman in the place of the character, and we'll just call it Batman Catra Sutra. Like, it's so stupid. God, and DC pays this guy money? Anyways, neither that has anything to do with Batman and Catwoman, who are innocent of all this. They don't have anything to do with Tom King. So you may still be fans of these characters. I like them. So here you get some cool sales. Batman Superman's cool. Josh Williamson, it's a fun story. Unless you hate the Batman Who Laughs, which some people do for some reason. What's on this first page of? Oh, look at this, the Batman and Robin Adventures. This is a fun series. If you like the Batman animated series, it's the same vein, I believe. Who does it? Paul Dini. Yeah, Paul Dini. Yeah, lots of stuff here. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and look through all the Batman stuff. Oh, I do want to read Batman and Robin by Frank Miller and Jim Lee. And educate you guys on the greatness of Frank. Dun dun dun. Man, there's a bunch of stuff that's on sale that I don't care about. What's going on? Oh, it's game tie-ins. This is what the... Oh, look, you get Assassin's Creed, the comic book, and... Humanoids. Okay. So the only thing that's really interesting me is the DC sale. Marvel world-shattering events. Oh, no, the Valiant. What did I say? The Valiant. That's one that interests me. Here's our first book of the evening, X-Men. If you missed the last episode, you missed a good comic. We're going to read, I believe, 6 issues of X-Men we'll be reading. Let's see. Ash just needs some chocolate coffee to get him back on track. Man, I do. I would love some chocolate coffee right now, especially if it was on ice. Tom King with more of his crack comics PR. Yuck. Right? It's like, dude, are you just messed up in the head? Like, what's going on in that head of yours? Eric says, read back issues. I am reading back issues. Look at that. I got you, Eric. I'm going to be reading some back issues tonight. Skip says, yep, what Eric Breen said. That's mostly what I read now. And some indies. You know, the sad thing is there are some good mainstream books. It's not the writers that are so bad, I'm discovering. There are people out there that want to do good work. It's the publishers. And for a while, it was like, okay, I could leave Marvel behind, you know, because at least DC's still trying to do good things. That Rebirth is still one of the best eras in comics, in my opinion. I love what they were doing with Rebirth. So many great ideas, so many good executions, some big blunders, sure, but they were at least trying. Now it's like, well, it doesn't matter that you've got Robert Venditti writing for you. You're basically just admitting that none of your shit matters. The DC, I watched a video today from Perch, and he's talking about the Endless Winter, this event that's coming out. 9 chapters, and he, Perch went and defended it. And, it's like, oh, it's only 9 chapters. That's great. It doesn't have to be 50 books or whatever. It's like, okay, that's true. But it's over 5 weeks. Over 5 weeks. 9 chapters in 5 weeks. I hate this. Give me... Do it. An event should do it over months. If you're feeding to this short attention span, YouTube or TikTok, demographic that can't pay attention for more than a couple minutes, you're just going to the wrong crowd. Comics is a long-term thing. It's not meant to be like, oh, give it to me now all the time. Like, this is meant to you could dive in and surround yourself with it. And because there's back issues, you never always have to wait. That was the thing back when I was young and getting into comics. I'd go get my X-Men book and I'd be super excited, ride home with my bike, with my comics in my backpack, and ride home and read my Uncanny X-Men. And, then I have to wait a month for the next book, which at the time was a good thing because I had to get my allowance and save up my money, to get the books. But then also, oh, what am I going to do in the meantime? Well, I'd go to the comic book store and I'd look at back issues and be like, oh, what are these X-Men back issues I can read and learn more about the story? And I'd get those and read, oh, look at what happened here. And I'd read those. And then the next month it'd be around and I'd be like, oh, look, I got the new issue. But Marvel and DC have lost this idea. Well, just the whole industry. They don't care. They expect back issues. And I get it. They don't make money on back issues. They could give 2 shits if Eric Breen goes and buys some, Marvel 2-in-1 from the 1970s. They don't make a dime off that. But that's short-sighted thinking. They make money indirectly from the fandom. If you're a person who's liking back issue comics, then that means you're a person who likes comics and would buy new issues if you could make something appealing to them and make it matter. That's my problem right now. And so I got this Endless Winter, and I'm like, I was listening to Perch talk about it, and I was like, oh God, I hate this stupid thing. Marvel does this They've been doing this for years where they do these winter events. Remember Annihilation? I think it was Annihilation. The last Annihilation event. It lasted over 5 weeks, and it was the same thing. They were like double shipping books on the same. I was like, get this crap, and you forget about it. Do you remember Contagion? No one remembers Contagion. That was another event that lasted I think it was like 4 weeks, like 6 books in 4 weeks, or something to that effect. No one remembers it, right? What was the other one that went down the memory hole that didn't matter? It was a Defenders thing. Something. The Best Defense. That was what it's called. This little event, The Best Defense, where every issue was a number 1. The Best Defense, Silver Surfer. The Best Defense, Defenders. The Best Defense, Doctor Strange. Everyone was like that. It was a number 1. I was like, that's stupid. First of all, you just know it's a gimmick where they're trying to rip you off. But number 2, later on, like say now you wanted to pick up these books and pull them out of your box and read them again. What order do you read them in? I don't remember which one came out first. Jackasses. They don't care. And that's the sad thing. So this whole winter event thing, I was like, oh, this sounds stupid. You know what it is? It's Justice League. It's basically they're copying Jason Aaron's stupid idea with the Avengers 10 million BC or whatever. But it's not quite that absurd. It's Justice League during the Viking era. So it's Viking Justice League. Oh, great! There was a Justice League in the Viking era. Stupid. It's retarded. And so when I was listening to him describe it, I was like, you know what this is? This is 5G. This is one of those other. This is them rewrapping their shitty 5G. They're like, oh, we're gonna cancel. We're not gonna do it. And it's like future state. Well, future state is the actual generation 5. But there's generation 1, 2, 3, and 4. What's generation 1? Well, probably this. This is probably the generation 1, And then come to find out that this Endless Winter is going to tie in to what DC is doing going forward in March. And I'm like, well, this is why I'm sold out, because you've got, I don't want freaking Viking Justice League, and then you're going to do this future state bullshit, and then come March, you're going to do your ongoing shits based off we want rebirth. We all want rebirth. So it's sad. I don't know. Doesn't mean Robert Venditti can't write, but he's going to end up writing shit that doesn't matter. Let's see. Ronnie says King did say he based Bat-Cat relationship on his own marriage. Oh my God. This is cringe. Ed Brewer says the next men better be uncanny. Welcome, Ed. Good to see you. Skip says comic history is so rich. My time is precious. Yeah, I get my same thing. I want to be able to read. I love reading back issues, but back issues feel alive because there are new issues, right? I don't want to ever have to be in a world where comics are dead and all you have is back issues. And then it's just sort of like reading back issues is like just remembering a dead loved one. Instead of right now, when I read back issues, I'm like, oh, I'm remembering a current loved one that's still alive, but I'm remembering, our past things, that we, experienced together or whatever. Like, yeah, it's, anyways, Tom King bringing street level heroes straight into the gutter. Computer Robot says to the TikTok gods out there, I hope that Ash joins TikTok to do some face reveal and then dancing. No, you don't want to see any of that. You absolutely don't want to see any of that. Let's see. And Ash is afraid he's going to do a dad dance. Well, I'm not afraid because I'm not going to do that. Besides, I'm not going to. Why would I use TikTok? It's a fascist communist insurgents machine. Like it's designed to sow chaos into Western society. It's designed to instigate a culture war. TikTok is an insidious thing. It needs to go away. It is national security risk. If you looked into like what, first of all, I mean, the CCP pretty much owns TikTok. You say, oh, that's not true, Ash. This is a private company. And no, in a fascist country, every acting corporation is part of the party. The party controls it. And if you go against the party, then the party just sends you away, and then they just take your corporation. This is a CCP thing. Why are we allowing CCP media to indoctrinate our kids? Sorry, I'm getting angry. Dealam says, if you don't want to read Future State, there's always Super Sons. Yeah, the problem with that is Super Sons now doesn't matter anymore. They just made Super Sons like, hey, it's just whatever. It's Marvel nonsense. We're just going to write Super Sons out of continuity. Sure. I mean, I'm happy for Super Sons fans. I guess I get to read more Super Sons stories. But sorry, I'm not happy to receive breadcrumbs. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like DC going, oh, here you go. Here's some breadcrumbs for you. You take that and you like it. We like you guys. Bullshit. You're giving us table scraps. You could suck on your table scraps. I don't want that. I want Super Sons done right. Not this way. I'm not going to be thankful. Oh, thank you, Master, for giving me the Super Sons privilege. No, I'm paying you money. I'm paying you good money. No, I'm not down for the all digital. I mean, I might end up reading it, but I don't know. I'm not happy with this whole thing. Eric says, I agree with Ash. I read back issues of America hoping there will be more, written by National Treasure Gabby Rivera, of course. Dude, we need an America 2. We just do. Speaking of America, it's time to go revisit a time in America when comics were way better. It's called the 1990s. And when a legend in the comics industry was exploring his own unique creator-owned vision, that was basically a ripoff of the X-Men. But still, this was John Byrne's Next Men. Oh, I got a little bit of sniffles. Maybe Venkman gave me the coof. Venkman! Tonight I'm only drinking Pepsi. No alcoholic beverages. I've been kind of tired lately, so that would make me crash. Eric says, America 2, Sotomayor Boogaloo. Nice. Oh, man. I better go full screen before someone yells at me. Boom shakalaka. Look at that. Look at that professional transition. You didn't even... I'm so impressed with myself. I should stop. I sound like a modern Marvel character. All right. For those of you who missed the last episode, shame on you. But more importantly, the Next Men, these characters on the cover, they're some kids who broke out of some facility. They don't know anything about the real world because they've never seen the real world. They're basically raised in a lab. They were broken out by a mysterious black lady, and the government showed up on the scene to quickly apprehend them. However, not before the local police got involved, and that's where we are now. Something French speaking, s'il vous plaît, blah, 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 blah. I can't speak French, so I'm not even going to try. Hurry. Get them both into surgery. I guess the translation of the French thing is down here. Those who have compared our life to a dream were right. We sleeping wake and waking sleep. So there's the black woman that I believe, yeah, that's what helped them escape. The man was shot in the chest, you said? And the woman in the stomach? Right, Doc. But his wounds look like any kind of trauma I've ever seen. You're right. The bullets don't look to have penetrated more than their own length. All right, Martin. You can prep and while I see to the woman. Hello? Can you hear me? I'm Dr. Russell. Can you tell me anything about yourself? Any medical history I should be aware of? No. She's pretty far gone, Doc. We were lucky to get her here alive. I can see that. You'd better call Wyatt Coffee. I don't know if he needs this woman as some kind of material witness. Incidentally, it's completely random. This woman looks a lot like my mom. It's almost like if John Byrne was sitting here just like sketching my mom. I'm like, Jesus. Not that you guys needed to know that, but it's just shocking. Anyways, moving on. But at this point, I'm not going to say I can guarantee much of anything. Okay, in you go. Now you three just sit tight until I can figure out what to do with you. Tommy, find him some clothes. We're going to have to confiscate those space suits. Right, Wyatt. I don't suppose you care to just tell me what this stuff is all about. I wish we could, Sheriff. That is your name, yes, Sheriff? My name's Coffee, Wyatt Coffee. Sheriff is my title. Now, why wouldn't you know that? Y'all speak English too good to be foreigners. We're not. Look at that word balloon. It's like they drew that word balloon in afterwards. It's like just the color of the sky. Sorry, I'm interrupting the show. Back to the show. We're American, Sheriff. Though I'll confess, I know that word without really knowing what it means. It means quite a bit, depending on who you're talking to, kid. Now, do you have names? Yes, I'm Nathan. And the girls are Bethany and Jasmine. Nathan what? Bethany and Jasmine what? Do you have last names, or are those just some kind of code names? They're the only names we have. Why would we need more? Why? So you can tell each other apart from anyone else named. Oh, I get it. You're just jerking me around, aren't you? Trying to keep me from asking the pertinent questions. Sheriff, I don't know what jerking around means, but I can assure you we have far more questions than you ever could. You see, for all that we know, we were all born today. That's climax ahead. You'd maybe better hunker down in your seat, Danny. Since you're a wanted man, we don't want you spotted just yet. Yes, but Willis Duckerman, I still don't understand why you're helping me. Everyone else has tried to hurt me. Well, not everyone. You said there was a woman? Yes. I don't know her name. She did try to help us, but she was shot. Shot? But not killed? She wasn't killed? Killed? Yeah, killed. Stop living. Oh, no. At least not that I saw, but they may have all faded by now. Now it's my turn. Faded? Faded. What happens to someone when they stop living, and then a stone appears in the marker field? Don't you know anything, Willis? I know this place is different from the real world, but I can't believe it's that different. Real world, huh? Well, Danny, I don't much care to be the one who tells you this, but what you see out there is the real world. Not wherever the heck it is you've been living. No, I can't believe that. I won't believe it. You can believe what you want to believe, I guess. What matters is that you adapt to this world. And I think the first thing you're going to have to do to make that happen is get you some proper clothes. Shall I come with you? No. Stay in the truck and stay out of sight. I won't be but 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. 2? But I haven't heard they were doing anything particularly nasty to animals out there. Maybe these kids were running on rumors or something. Did I miss something? No, okay. Maybe. But I'm not gonna know one way or the other until I get them talking. And the trio I've got here have nothing to say. No good. These bars were wedged in solid. Well, Margaret, they'll both survive, though I can't say how long it will be before the woman regains consciousness. She must have lost half a gallon of blood. Is that a medical assessment? Don't be cute, Wyatt. I don't get much excitement around here. Allow me my hyperbole. Fair enough. When can I question the man, then? You know, it's funny that you should phrase it just that way. Man, I mean. He's big as a house, but I doubt that he's more than 19 years old. Hardly the current profile age for a terrorist. Well, I guess fanaticism knows no age limits. But, yes, I don't think I'd be too quick to lay that label on him just yet. Especially given that the facility is supposed to be a simple agricultural research station. Nothing of world-shattering importance going on out there. I wonder, could these kids be animal rights activists? That would fit better with their youth and apparent inexperience. These too. But we gotta get out of here. We've gotta find Jack and Danny. Did I miss something? Nope. Weird cuts. Well, I don't think we're gonna be able to, Nathan. Without Jack's newfound strength, our only hope would be to cut our way through these bars. Cut? Beth, I think you may have something there. Well, you look better already. How do you feel? Hungry. Where am I? You're in the Bradford Memorial Hospital in Climax. I'm Dr. Russell. Would you care to tell me your name? Jack. But Climax is a thing, not a place. The town founders had literary pretensions, Jack. I guess there was no reason to brief you on that, though. Brief? Is this a military unit? No. Are you military, I mean? I don't know what I am. All I know is Jasmine and I were dancing in my hut on the edge of the greenery. And then all of a sudden I was in this place, this laboratory. The others were there too, so I woke them up, and from then on everything went crazy. Okay, now hold still. These crazy pants of yours are so tight, I'm going to have to cut you out of them. Jesus, how in the hell did you get leg muscles like that, Danny? It's almost like they're growing even while I'm looking at them. I don't know. They were never like this in the greenery. But since we got out, it seems like we've been changing. At least my legs and Nathan's eyes. Well, I bought you the biggest pair of trousers I could find in the store. They're still going to be a tad snug, but at least you'll look more normal. Normal, Willis? I'm scared. Why is everything so different? What's happened to the greenery? What's happened to the world? I wish it was so simple I could tell you, Danny, but it isn't. And I can't. Let's just say you're safe for now. And between the two of us, we should be able to figure out this business one way or the other. And that's as much as I could get out of him. Not that any of it makes sense. What about this dancing business? What do you reckon he meant by that? Well, it's just a guess, but I think that they're slang for lovemaking, for sex. Huh. And this whole sci-fi setup he's talking about, this greenery and the rest, you buy that? I don't know what I buy. If this is all some kind of lie, he's got it rehearsed so well, I couldn't shake him on a single point. But I'll say one thing, Wyatt. None of this makes any sense as part of a terrorist scheme. Not to me, anyway. Me neither. But I think knowing it might help shake something out of our other guests. All right, you kids. I want some... Ah, shit. Tommy, call out the volunteers. Those damn kids have escaped. We gotta find them before they spook the whole town. I still can't believe it, even though I saw it with my own eyes. Cutting the bars with a strand of Bethany's hair? Whatever made you think of such a thing, Nathan? It only made sense, Jazz. Everything that's happened to her since we came out of the greenery has shown Bethany is completely invulnerable. You remember how Jack cut his finger just by touching her hair? As seen in last month's issue 0. We didn't read that issue. From there, it was only a short jump of logic to realize that a strand of her indestructible hair would cut through the steel bars. But that's behind us. That's behind us now. What we need to focus on is what lies ahead. And the first thing is on the agenda is finding Danny and Jack. I've been reading that all out of order. Jeez. Sorry. If you're reading along, you're like, what the hell is he reading? Back to the action. That's not going to be easy, Nathan. Just on the basis of what little we've seen in this world, it's easy to see we won't exactly blend in. At least, you and Jazz won't, looking as you do. You're right, Beth. That's why we're going to have to split up. Huh? Nathan, no! It's bad enough that we've been separated from Danny and Jack. If the three of us get separated now... I know, Jazz, I know. But it's our only hope. At least this way there's a chance that one of us will get free. And as long as one of us is free, the rest of us have at least a chance too. Nathan's right, Jazz. I don't like the idea of heading off on my own any more than you do. But this place is too big and too strange. We'll never find Danny or Jack or the woman who tried to help us if we don't spread out. All right, but I want it on record that I hate the whole idea. Noted. Now, this looks like a good place as any to spread out from. Jazz, you take that road. Beth can take the opposite way. And be careful, both of you. We have no way to even guess what's waiting for us out there. Remember what the word dance is supposed to mean? Yes. Oh, Senator, thank God you're home. It's just terrible. Oh, now, Amanda. Calm down. What seems to be the problem? It's the agricultural research station, Senator. It's been destroyed by terrorists. What? Amanda, are you sure about this? Yes, sir. The word just reached us. According to the report, the whole base was blown up. We don't know how many people might have been killed. All right, Amanda, calm down. Fax me the full report as soon as you have it in writing. And contact Control. He will need to know about this, too. I already tried, Senator, but he's not at home, and his people won't tell me where he is. Keep trying, Amanda. As soon as I have the facts, I'll contact the White House and inform the man. Yes, sir. But, Senator, this is all so horrible. Yes, Amanda. Yes, it is. Just waiting for her to get blown up. Through a little secret room. Goes downstairs. Well, what do you have to say? What sort of master plan do you have to offer? Spare me your sarcasm. Sorry, I don't know why I'm having trouble reading. Byrne writes in a weird way. Spare me your sarcasm, Aldous. There is no need for concern. No need? No need? Then I wonder what you would see as a cause for concern. We were almost discovered. As it is, the 5 surviving subjects are at large. It won't be long before they escape custody. After all, that's what they were trained to do. And Christ help us. Once they're loose in an uncontrolled environment, I don't suppose I have to remind you what else their training involves. Since I designed the educational network, no, you do not. But I repeat myself. There is no need for concern. You manipulated Dr. Bremer perfectly. Everything is proceeding exactly as anticipated. I wish I had your confidence. How can you be so certain? No, Aldous. You understood from the beginning that my secrets would remain intact. Suffice to say that all that is happening is as it was meant to happen. Your future success is assured. As is my own. The next men are free. Their impact on the world has already begun. It is only a matter of time before the reign of Sathanas can begin. Creepy. And that was Next Men, issue number 2. One of the interesting things about Next Men, speaking of the time that it was written and stuff, the Next Men actually felt like something that would have belonged really, it would have felt really at home in the New Universe. For any of you guys that read New Universe ever. Because New Universe was a very similar type of, I mean, it was a world, but like the comics in the New Universe were designed to be comics, but approach it in a more realistic fashion. You know, not just the outlandish Marvel comics. There was this time in the 80s where, you know, comics were sort of reaching a peak. And, you know, they were just, I think, as movie making was getting better and just media was changing, there's this idea that comics were silly. Where, you know, in the 60s and 70s, it was more embraced. In the 80s, it was like, oh, no, this is kind of silly and cringy. We need comics to be a little bit more reflective of reality. Like how, you know, be a little bit more grown up. And that's what the New Universe tried to do, which was part of its failure. It went too far, in my opinion. You're just like, oh, geez, okay, can we just have comic books? You know, I get it. You're trying to make it be like, what if superheroes really did exist in our world? But yeah. But Next Men feels like it would feel at home in there. And I guess I just made that sound like a bad thing. But New Universe wasn't all terrible. I would have, Next Men DP7, pretty close actually. But anyways, what do you guys think about this book? Did you enjoy Next Men issue number 2? Let me scroll up and see. Where was I? Oh yeah, Marania says full screen, please. Why should they call Wyatt Coffee if his name is Wyatt? Why would they call Wyatt Coffee if his name is Wyatt? Because his last name is Coffee. Wyatt Coffee. I don't understand the question. Ed Brewer says, hey, oh boy, ain't fooling anybody. He looks like an alien. Yeah, he kind of does. Some of the poses and character expressions, they feel like recycled from Burns' Man of Steel. The one pose of the doctor with her feet on her desk is like Lois on one of the MOS issues, Man of Steel issues. Yeah, I could see that. I think that was kind of a common thing for a lot of artists. When you're drawing characters, it's tough to just draw in any single angle you can imagine. And having dabbled in art and illustration myself for a while, there were certain poses that I could do well, and so if I were to draw a comic, I would use that almost like a crutch. If he's like, you want your stuff to look the best. So if drawing a character sitting a certain way was a way that you really knew how to do it well, and other ways not so well, you're going to show off what you do best. The old saying, write what you know. Well, it's also draw what you know. Just the way that it is. Let's see. That's in the comments. You guys are not commenting very much. What's going on? Is Next Men not popular? Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Not that you care. It's pretty gross. The next book in the evening is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. This is a graphic novel. So we read chapter 1, which is issue 1 already, and we'll be reading the second issue tonight. This is Chip Zdarsky's book. This is a book that I avoided because it was a Chip Zdarsky book, because Chip Zdarsky is a raging SJW, and he used to shit on fans, and he wrote some pretty cringy shit. Years later, when I decided to give him another chance because I was hearing good things, well, he won me over with Spider-Man Life Story. And he had stopped talking on Twitter. He just put his head down and did the work. And that's what I care about. I think if you're a professional, just behave professionally. You don't have to share my thoughts. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you think differently than me? F you, get out of here. No, like I value diversity of thought. Just because you disagree with my worldview doesn't make you a bad person or me a better person. Like, it's just, we see things differently, and I embrace those difference of thoughts, because if we all did that, I think we would all come to better worldviews. It's only through embracing the possibility that you're wrong can you then come to be right. So not that Chip Zdarsky is really doing that. He's just kind of putting his nose down. He's like, look, you do what you want. I know you're probably a progressive weirdo, Chip, but if I don't have to see it, you don't have to throw it in my face, and all you do is just make a product out that's quality, I'll read it. So everyone told me, it's like, oh, Ash, this Spider-Man's good too. I was like, no, it's not. Don't you dare try to. Oh no, he's really good on Spider-Man. It's like, all right. So I had an opportunity to read it. Ooh, that last issue. Oh, that last issue. But the art is fantastic. It's really, really good. Um, and Eric has assured me that this does get better over time, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Um, if you're still with me, then we're going to be reading Spectacular Spider-Man issue 2 right now. When I was a kid, my parents died. For a long time, it felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was trapped underground. My aunt and uncle took me in and slowly but surely pulled me out of it. Then, at the height of my awkward teen years, something crazy happened, life-changing. I was bitten by a radioactive spider and didn't die. I made money, wrestling of all things, a masked kid taking on anyone who came at me. I was selfish, angry at the world. After all I'd been through, it owed me something for once, and I was too eager to collect. I didn't care that some random Joe robbed my wrestling promoter. It wasn't my job to stop him. He was looking out for number one, and so was I. But later that night, I came home and my Uncle Ben was dead. Shot by a home invader. Oh, before I go on, I left out a really important part. That spider bite gave me powers. Strength, agility, stickiness, a weird ESP danger scent. Oh, fur. Why are you telling me your origin again? This is like the millionth time I've heard it. You don't hear me going on about getting my powers from my cool rocket adventure, which is 1,000% more exciting. Hey, it's an integral part of who I am. And I was just building up to my greatest lesson. With great power must come great benefits. Yeah. Great responsibility. I'm just saying my great powers increased a lot in the past year. I don't care. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. That is a great 2-page spread. Look at that cityscape. Wow. And look at that. Not photoshopped at all. Just drawn in the way classic comics used to always be. It all means my great responsibility has shot up as well. I feel like I've got no time for me anymore, you know? For the little things, like stopping robbers who end up killing uncles. Why SJWs, they always draw their characters sitting around eating and drinking. Always. I'm just saying, it's nice having these lunch breaks with Johnny Storm. Just me relating to the common people again. Common people who burst into flame, yet common nonetheless. Very common. Wow, thanks. I totally hate how well you're doing. Even your dorky costume is cooler now. What's wrong with taking advantage of my super geniusness? You used to be in the Fantastic Four. Why didn't Mr. Fantastic ever give you cool gadgets for your costume back in the day? Sorry about that. Jeez. I'm the Human Torch. I'm awesome as is. You need tech to shoot webs and junk. What else would I ever even need? I don't know. Maybe a tiny fire extinguisher? I'm pretty sure I remember you burning down a bar once. Fully insured. In Daredevil Volume 1, number 261. Deep cut chip. Love ya, you destructive dummy. I got a jet. Ugh. Still up for a movie tonight? For sure, but no superhero movies. I need escapism, man. Plus, they're so unrealistic. Thanks for the shawarma. Meet you at your place at 7:30. Don't forget. I probably won't. Man, this is what I'm talking about. No meetings, no killer robots, just a young-ish man, only slightly terrorizing the city he loves with grace and beauty from above. Pretty woman, stop for a while. Pretty woman. Yeah, I'm not going to sing that anymore. Sorry. Beep. Hey, my favorite aunt named May. What's going on, gorgeous? Oh, not much. Just keeping busy. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound so flip. I know it's been rough for you. Yes, well, you need to focus on the ones you love while you have them. Speaking of, are you free for dinner tonight, dear? May's husband, Jay Jameson, died in The Amazing Spider-Man number 19. This time it wasn't Peter's fault. Chip. Oh, man. I love some of your famous meat cakes. But I'm meeting a friend tonight to see a movie. A friend? A young lady, perhaps? No. Are you sure? Yes. What have we here? Meat cake is a meatloaf shaped like a cake, says Chip. I just worry about you, Peter. Have you tried Tindro? I've heard that's a great app for mingling, for long-term relationships, or even casual. An old man just fell down. I think he broke a bunch of hips. Gotta help him. Talk to you later about dating in these modern times, Aunt May. But, beep. Shh. Now this is what I'm talking about. What? Good old-fashioned robbery. A terrible event, ultimately rooted in dire socioeconomic issues. Yet, I still must... Hi-ya! Thwack. Of course, the woman in distress, the damn, she'd take care of herself. Look at that pink hair. She's wham. Just hi-ya. So, are you also funny in appropriate situations? Silence, attractive citizen. I'm about to dazzle the crowd with one of my fancy new web cartridges. The web foam. Ha! Big shot superhero. Soon to be big shot super dead. Fuck. Oof. Oh my god, can I knock people out with my mind? Can spiders knock things out with their minds? Thanks for the save. How did you... My mind. Now I have even more power. No. Ah! Oof. You have ants. Or, an ant. Oh, hey, Ant-Man. Thanks for helping out in that situation that I totally had under control. Sure. You're the best, Spider-Man. Thwip. Look. I know you're Ant-Man and all, but you seem shorter than usual. Yeah, I got into a fight with someone named Orca, and my size-changing helmet took some damage, and for some reason, this is as tall as I get now. Bummer. I once got stuck with 6 arms in Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, number 100. Interesting fact, for 100th anniversaries, the gift is arms, says Chip. You want me to take a look? Wah! Hey, I'm all you have. Sorry. Hey, I'll have you know, I'm a very smart tech guy. Very smart. Your tech just spurted all over the street. Wow. Serves me right for saving lives. This guy's phone. It's an old Stark phone. These things are impossible to hack, but there's a new operating system on this. That's super weird. Hack? Operating system? Wow. You are a tech guy. Something to investigate later. Huh. Look, my fashion sense is tingling, but I don't have any pockets in this thing. You know who else didn't have any pockets? Prince, the purple one. Everyone carried stuff for him. Nobody wants to carry stuff for me. Did you just compare yourself to Prince? In pockets only. In pockets only. Okay. 'Cause I was just about to ask you out. What? Sorry, first name, my name's Rebecca. And besides the guy who just robbed me, you're the only person I've met since getting into the city. You're funny, and I can imagine you're cute, which is good enough for me. So yeah, coffee sometime? Flip. Why did you... I thought you were, sticky. You stick to not all the time. So yeah, I'll back away now and try not to die of embarrassment. Cops are here and I have a lot of new material to share with them. Bye. Did she just ask you out? I think so. You should probably marry her. Hey, can I get a lift? I was on my way to the Mason to get this fixed. Sure, no problem. Who's Mason and where should I go? Wait, you don't know who Mason is? He's in the penthouse at the Madison in East and 82nd. Should I know him? He's a genius inventor. Worked for like NASA, tons of technology-based companies. He does tech for superheroes now. Everyone uses him at some point. Hawkeye for his arrows, Daredevil for weird sticks. Even Iron Man would go to him for things he couldn't quite figure out. No one ever told you about him? I guess everyone thought I was too smart to need him. Yeah, Tony Stark thought you were smarter than him. Sure. I maybe thought I already knew? I really don't know this Ant-Man that well, but my spider sense isn't tingling. All right, follow me. I'm sure it'll be cool I brought you along. Cool. Cool. See? Cool. Oh, hey, Scott. Spidey? I was just on my way out. What's going on? Helmet troubles. Not quite getting the growth spurt I'm used to. Gotcha. Just got my wings fixed up. Kept veering left. Hey, thanks again, Mason. Works like a charm. My pleasure, Samuel. Give my regards to the Red Wing now and then. Scott, what have you? Oh, I brought a friend. There's protocols, Scott. I need to protect my lab from Spider-Man? From my brother. Let me guess. Evil brother? It's why I never bothered with siblings. Bzzz. Detectable friction ability, strength. You do seem to be Spider-Man, which means you're actually familiar with my aforementioned brother Phineas, whom you know better as the Tinkerer. Whoa, seriously? That guy's been a pain in my side for years. He's helped outfit Mysterio, Scorpion, Beetle, Hobgoblin, you name it. He probably designed the computer the IRS used to audit me. Ba-dum-boom. I ignored his activities for so long, focused on my own career, selfishly. Then, a few years ago, I experienced his tinkering firsthand. A beautiful day in the city, shattered by an attack from the Scorpion, aided by my brother's inventions. I looked around at the wreckage, the hurt citizens, and I realized I did nothing to stop it. I had used my inventions to get rich, nothing more. I had this great power, and I just let my... Trust me, I understand this all too well. I'm glad you finished building the pieces, Mason. Where would... Watu? What are you doing here? Spidey! I didn't want to make a move in San Fran with Max and Horizon, and Mason needed help. Did I read that wrong? Oh, I did. Yeah, Spidey said, Uatu, what are you doing here? There we go. There's been a crazy uptick for the past year for hero tech work. And when the great Hophni Mason puts out a call for help, you've been invaluable, Mr. Jackson. I only hope you'll be doing this for heroes after I'm gone. Are you leaving me in your lab in your will? I was thinking more of a vacation. So, Mason's brother is what's your archenemy? I wouldn't say arch, but he's one of my first. He's on the top of my thwip list, to be honest. Man, you're the only guy I know to have so many senior citizen enemies. They're always trying to buy me off with their deep discounts and dusty cookies. Hey, wait a second. Am I a little bit taller? I took the liberty of resetting your normal height to an inch taller. I figured you wouldn't mind. Amazing. Why didn't I ever think of that? And while I have you, Spider-Man, I couldn't help but notice on some recent news footage your expulsions. Yes? I haven't been working quite properly, may I? Yes? Fascinating work here. These spinnerets are genius. Thanks, MBD. Hey, while Good Tinker is complimenting me, Uatu, found a hacked Stark phone at the scene of a crime where I arrived just in time. Wait, that's impossible. These phones are impenetrable. I know, right? I'd really love to know if there are any more out there. On it. And done. It looks like chemicals you've used for your recent foam setting are affecting the materials you've used for the chamber. I gave it a clear coating so it should work fine now. Huh. It should make all of your web firing a little smoother. Here, let's see if it works in my test area. All right, but I'm not sure if that's the problem. Shh. Well then, don't be too hard on yourself. I'm sure you'd figure it out when you got to my age. Found something. Uatu Jackson, you're the best. Yeah, well, don't thank me yet. I can only find one hacked Stark phone. I can't even detect the one you've got, so I'm not sure how much it'll help you. Is that? Yup. MIT Cambridge. The hack originated from there. But the phone's since moved to Chicago. Guess I better cash in my air miles. You need backup for this? Nah. Doubt it's even connected. Probably just some professor screwing around on their off hours. But I still gotta check it out because of my great responsibility. Dot. I said... That was cringe. That was really cringe. O'Hare International Airport, Chicago. 5 hours later. Man, a nice little low stress tech mystery is just what the non-octopus doctor ordered. Maybe the phone is some prof making extra money on the side? Dealing with criminals like a really boring Breaking Bad, making hacked phones hacking bad? No, wait. Better call Saul. Nailed it, Parker. Boom. Ugh, speaking of calls, it's almost been 8 hours since Rebecca gave me her number. I'm so bad at this. Has too much time passed for me to call? Not enough? Asterisks. Note. Not enough, says Chip. It's the first time I've seen an editorial blip used for that purpose, to make an in-world joke. Wow. Probably too much. I better call instead of text. Asterisk, asterisk. Always text, says Chip. Asterisk, asterisk. Definitely text, says Adam. Oh, man. These guys are dating pros. I'm so glad I'm reading their Spider-Man comics so I can learn how to talk to women. I need a drink. It's almost like these two jackholes watched the movie Swingers and decided they were going to educate the rest of us. Moving along. Hello? Is this Rebecca? That's me. And you are... It's me, Spider-Man. I know. I just wanted to hear you say it like it's a real name. Look, I know I probably came on too strong today. I mean, not as strong as calling me hours later, but still. Wow. What's your spider schedule like? I've got sets every night this week, so I could get coffee during the day. Sets? Are you a musician or stand-up comedian, actually? Much more secure than musician. Definitely more than superhero. How about tomorrow at 3? The Coffee Bean near Empire State U? Yes, perfect. Don't stand me up fighting Dogtopus or whatever. Wait, do you mean Dr. Octopus? Oh, that makes more sense. He does look like a dog, though. All right, I won't stand you up. I never forget a date. Manhattan, 7:39 p.m. Oh, look who's getting stood up. Johnny Storm. Hey, aren't you? No. Wow. That was a funny bit. Getting close to the phone's last location. This could be a professor or a criminal that they sold the phone to, so my best bet is to play bad Spidey instead of good Peter here. Birthday party appearance, big bucks, as you were. Knock, knock. Looks like someone's home but not answering. Time to use my spider voice. Yes, it's the world famous Spider-Man, but I just want to talk. And sure, maybe arrest you, but probably not. Probably not? Whoa, spider sense kicking in. What? Definitely not. Sure. Life is a secure series of negotiations. Unbelievable. Of course he's not checking his phone. Stupid Parker. Excuse me, are you? I'm... Oh, why, yes, I am, Johnny Storm. And yes, I am suddenly free tonight. And you are? I was actually about to ask if you were talking about Peter Parker. My name's Teresa. I'm his sister. Wait, what? New York City. Jerry, the car's around the corner. Why do we have to cut through an alley? Damn it, Mandy. The phone is telling me to go this way. You're the one always telling me I need to trust more. Trust people. Trust me. Not some stupid app. You're going to get us killed. Well, only if you don't do as I say. Ah! Who are you? The name's Mindbender, and if you don't hand over all your valuables, I'll turn your brains into soup. Okay, my bank code is 5592. Jerry, he didn't ask for... Just shut up and keep it... shit. So, okay. So, a thing about me. I have a power called Spider Sense. Very handy. Tingles in the noggin to warn me of danger. Oh, God. Spider-Man. I wasn't. But the funny thing is, right now, I've had something I've never had before. It's like a reverse Spider Sense. My noggin is rewarding me with soothing, warm kisses for being completely safe. Guys, the only thing this moron could turn into soup. Wait, sorry. Guys, the only thing that this moron could turn into soup is water and ketchup packs. But he'd still need to be reminded of the ketchup out of the packs first. Pock, thwip, thwip. I just found a mask and had some glue and... Wait, Thwip? Is that? It's Iron Man 7, Secret Armor Wars, Spider-Man is an NPC. Thwip, pow. Help me, Iron Man. Help me. Am I crying? Whoa. Look at that. It's like the same pose right on the Matrix. And he's saying, whoa. Get it? Like Keanu Reeves would say. Carrying on. Everybody, run for cover. Who would? Thwip? Hey, Lee Harvey Osborn, what's the deal? Spider Sense. Again, Black Widow? What the heck? Have you lost it? Blam, blam, blam. Blam. Gotta be mind control. Like, deep mind control. Because there's no way you'd ever heard a mutual spider-themed hero. Whew. Come on, you can't think you'll beat a guy with the proportional fighting ability of a spider. Attack. Do you? Gun turrets come out. Yikes! Maybe you're some alternate universe Black Widow who lacks subtlety. Man, target locking swivel mounted machine guns, eh? Whoosh. I bet they don't work too well when they can't see their target. Slam. You know, if this doesn't end with you leading me into a surprise party, I'm going to be so mad. Come on, just let me web you up and then I can take you to a specialist. Someone who can turn you back into a normal assassin / spy / superhero. Widow? This is nuts. Let's just talk and... What are you... Ah! You blinded me. This is wildly unfair. Whoa. Blind or not, I still got my spider sense, lady. Nope. Forget it. Ain't gonna... Ooh. Look, Widow, you're playing dirty and I respect that. But wouldn't it be more satisfying to kill a 2020 Spider-Man? Widow? I can finally make out shapes. There's no stopping me now. Widow? What the heck was that about? Agent Mintz? Widow, did we get what we needed? What you needed. And yes, managed to test a variety of conditions for his danger sense. Long-ranged, automated, derived of other senses. It's all here. Now, Widow. You should be happy. Imagine the lives we'll save. Shield agents in the field sensing danger. I can't think of no greater reason to attack a friend without telling him why. You know you couldn't warn him. And Spider-Man is not someone who'd be willingly observed and prodded by us. You were the perfect choice for this, Widow. You know him, his moves, and you don't pull punches. A fact you do well to remember. If you abuse this information in any way, you or your Gray Blade cronies. Good night, Agent Mintz. Good night, Widow. And good luck. Wow, that was all over the place. Um, it's interesting reading this now that I've seen what Zdarsky has evolved into. Had I read this back in the day when I didn't know, I would have wrote Zdarsky off as a trap. I would have wrote him off like a Dan Slott, like just as a garbage tier writer. But since I do have that perspective of what he is today and what he's capable of, I'm actually able to see the beginnings through the mess of this book. I'm able to see some of the things that he's doing that he hasn't really, how do I say it? Like he's still kind of growing. He's like taking his first steps here. But he'll be firing all cylinders by the time he gets to Daredevil. I'm curious what you guys thought of this book. Get back to the chat. I'm not good at paying attention to chat and reading the book at the same time. Like my boy Skip, who's way more talented than I am in that area. Let's see. Skip says, Prince reference. We got a winner. Ding, 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 ding. I'm glad Skip was here because I know he likes Prince a lot. So I was like, man, I hope he Skip's reading this. That was kind of funny. Ronnie says, Spider-Man and Ant-Man hanging out together? Feels kind of buggy to me. Boom, boom. RDV says, cringe. RDV is alive. Welcome, RDV. Ronnie says, Uatu, the real name of the Watcher. Why, oh, why? Don't ask me. I do not know. RDV says, I'm high off watching Kolchak. Well, I guess if there's any way to bring RDV somewhere, if you just start talking about Spider-Man, RDV will show up. He's kind of like one of those characters. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're feeling a little better. It says 3 episodes left of the series. Skip says, Ash, you're so money, baby, and you don't even know it. That was someone caught the Swingers reference. Nice. RDV says, so much cringe. This is worse than Bendis. No, it's not. No. I will argue differently. Bendis just doesn't have plots. Here's the thing. When I read this, I feel like I have an amateur who's trying to become a good writer. I feel like someone who doesn't have the skills, but he's really, it's like he's playing out of his league. He probably should not have been given the job to write Spider-Man, but you got to start somewhere. But he feels like that. He feels like someone who's stepping up. He's biting off more than he can chew. Bendis feels like someone who doesn't even try. And that comes across, and the end result is a big difference. It's the same thing I do when I read Gabby Rivera's America. It's trash. Like, Gabby Rivera's not a good writer. But I feel like she was trying. I feel like in her eyes that she was writing good stuff. I feel like she was trying. And so you can actually see some good in it, right? In the same way that, like, when a 9-year-old draws a picture with crayons, and the parents like, oh, and you want to put it up on the fridge. From an objective standpoint, it's a trash drawing. But when you look at it from the angle of a parent, and it's a kid's, obviously just a kid doesn't have, skills. Like, you can see it from a different point of view. And sometimes you can appreciate it that way. I feel like when I read these Spider-Mans, I'm like, oh man, it's cringy. But it truly has some similarities with America in the sense that it's cringy because it's so amateur. It's just it's trying so hard, but the creator doesn't actually have the skills to do what they, in their mind, they're envisioning that they're doing. Bendis, on the other hand, I just feel is just extremely self-impressed. I feel when I read his stuff, it's almost like it speaks to me like, I am Bendis, and whatever I write, you shall love. Every word balloon is something to be, admired. Look at my great wordsmithing that I put, this witty. It's just so self-impressed nonstop, and it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens. There's no plots. Yeah. No, I would take this over, and I'm not defending saying this is good, and maybe I have some bias because I know how good Chip will eventually be, but this has that charm that America has in some ways, where it's like it's so bad in certain areas, like it actually makes it kind of entertaining to see how bad it is, because it's just absurd. Bendis isn't absurd. It's just shake your head, and it's just tiring, and just it's kind of depressing in a way. Let's see. The cringe in this calling scene made me sneeze. No joke, says Rania. Yeah, that was terrible. Well, how the hell is Peter? How is Spider-Man going to date this girl? He just meets a girl on the street and says, oh, we'll go on a date. Is he going to date her as Spider-Man, like a mask? Like, this is not... I don't feel like this is thought out. This is stupid. Plus, I just hate seeing Peter Parker without Mary Jane, so terrible. Nolan Nerd says, Ash is money. I wish I was money, but thank you, buddy. It's good to see you, Nola. Peter has a sister, says RDV. I did not know this. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see. Gotta take it right to the table and put it all on red, baby. Vegas, baby. Vegas, says Skip. Nola says, yeah, you're right, Skip. Old dude is crazy cheddar. Oh, man, cheddar. I haven't heard that in so long. Gouda, how y'all say it down in New Orleans? He about it, wote. Gambit would never say that. Noah's is laughing out. Gambit would definitely speak in French. Oh, man. So we got this whole side conversation. RDV says, I'd rather have Frank Miller write Spider-Man. Oh, me too. I mean, no surprise there, right? I would have loved to. But see, Frank Miller's not a comedian. The thing about Spider-Man, I feel like he needs to be funny. I like to see quippy Spider-Man, but just as Spider-Man, not every other character in the book also, like all the time. It's not a sitcom. I just like seeing that personality of Spider-Man. Like, this is part of his persona. Frank Miller was not. He would have written, like, he would have written like The Iraq Knight Returns or something. Do you guys remember when Spider-Man, the adjectiveless Spider-Man book came out, the Todd McFarlane book, when Marvel gave him that? If you're old enough to have been reading comics back then, that was kind of one of the problems with McFarlane's Spider-Man series. Is McFarlane did not know how to write any humor, and he didn't try, which I guess is kind of a good thing, right? Because I don't think Chip's very funny, but he's trying to be. So he's going overboard with the jokes he doesn't realize aren't landing. But Todd McFarlane wrote this like really dark Spider-Man, and it just, I didn't hate, obviously, because I got to read McFarlane art. Sorry, didn't read his art. You know what I'm saying? I got to look at the McFarlane art on Spider-Man. It was beautiful. One of the most beautiful books you could get at the time. But Spider-Man it felt off being such just a straightforward, serious book. I don't know. Yeah, I would love to see what Miller would do, especially Miller in his prime, not today. I'll read whatever Miller does, but 20 years old ago, Miller is the one that I want. Ronnie says, Bendis is not paid by the word. He's paid by the letter. That's the only explanation for his word salad writing. Well, my theory is the explanation for his word salad writing is he's just really self-impressed. He's one of those writers, I feel, and Tom King feels this way too, where they're just really impressed with their own speech, like everything that they put down, like, oh, I just wrote this, masterpiece, this is like, no, you didn't. You just wrote garbage. They're way too self-impressed. And so it feels like everything that they go through and write, and everything that they go and do feels like, look, I'm making my magnum opus. Tom King especially that way. Tom King, it feels like everything he does is like, this is going to be the next Watchmen. It's like, dude, you suck. But Bendis is wordy just because I think he thinks that's what everyone's there for, is to just see his words. And he writes that sitcom style. If you watch a sitcom, especially modern sitcoms like Big Bang Theory, it's all words. Everything is carried by the dialogue. There's very few moments of silence. There's very few scenes that are carried by non-dialogue, right? It's a sitcom, so everything is just constantly jip back and forth. And Bendis writes like that. You could see in this book, well, not this book, the book I read previous, The Next Men, right? Did you notice how there was a couple of pages where no one talked? It was just carried by the art, where Byrne was, drawing panel to panel, just showing you what was happening, and there was no dialogue at all. It's really weird when you read a comic book out loud to do those. I'm not sure if I should describe the scenes or just play them out silent or what, but that's how old school writing was. That's how a good writer who's writing in a visual medium understands. It doesn't need to be talking every second. And some of these other good writers who've written film, right, like Jeff Loeb, as an example, he can do that too, because film is a visual medium that's show, don't tell. I felt like this book was a lot of tell, very little show. That's the problem. Yeah, Bendis is telling, and it's just all nonsense. It's like exposition that doesn't have a point. It's just, you're like, but why do I even need this exposition? It's meaningless. This is not even helping to tell me what's happening. Anyways, RDV says, Peter suddenly having his sister out of the blue is depressing. I don't know if it's depressing. It's kind of shocking. It depends on where they go with it. Maybe she's just some sort of imposter who's not really his sister, or something like that. I try not to just judge things immediately when it's revealed. It's let's let this play out a little bit and see where it goes. RDV says, I like the Venom saga. Peter without MJ just doesn't feel like a Spider-Man comic. I agree. It doesn't. If you wanted to undo the Mary Jane thing, I would just rather seen Marvel do a rewind. That would be a really cool way to reboot something, by the way. I never thought of that till just now. Rewind your universe. Have some sort of weird cosmic event. I mean, it would undo some of the continuity, right? But it wouldn't matter because that continuity did happen, and then the things got rewound. So it's not like they didn't happen. They just don't happen again necessarily. You could rewind Spider-Man back to when he's 18 years old. We just rewind the whole Marvel universe back and put it to a certain point in time that we know, and then take it from there. It's what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek, with his Star Trek movies, right? He rebooted the Star Trek. He rewound time back to the beginning, of the Star Trek original series, TV show, to that date, and then let events play out differently, because, in the story, the Klingon homeworld is blown up. Sorry, not the Klingon. Sorry, the Vulcan homeworld is blown up. So that changes things. Obviously, that didn't happen in the timeline we all knew. So history is forever changed. and the timelines diverge. And so now you can start at that same point and have like a what if. Well, what if these events would have happened? Where would these characters have gone? Yeah, essentially make the whole Marvel Universe a giant what if. Rewind. Go back to, well, however many years. So, like, yeah, Spider-Man's like 18. You don't have to go all the way to the beginning and play it out. So the X-Men are still kids and they're still in school. Spider-Man is, maybe just in college, Mary Jane. They're not married. He's not married to Mary Jane, but he's still part of the life. Let things play out. Get to re-experience all that all over again. A new generation will get to experience it, but you wouldn't have to do it all the same. So it would still be a surprise for old readers, but it would still be a way of letting new readers experience some of that great stuff. I should be running Marvel. Let's see. Computer Robot says, yeah, what happened to Peter's sister Tessa? RDV says, Tessa apparently was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Okay. She pops up later in Spencer's run. Lame. Instead of going to live with Ben and May, her birth was kept hush, and she was just put up for adoption. What? What kind of nonsense is that? Like, oh, look, the parents are dead. There's a boy and a girl. Okay, well, we'll adopt the boy. The girl, yeah, she can go to an orphanage. Fuck her. This is stupid. RDV says, lol, Marvel rewind, all new, all undone. Can't be worse than anything that they've done now. Yeah, I don't like the sister idea. But kids, it is after midnight. I've gone over my show time. I'm really trying to keep it till like midnight, but I did start a little bit late, so it is how long have we been running? Just over 2 hours. So I'm going to call this a wrap. I want to thank you all again for joining us on Ash Airlines. We hope your stay in their lovely destination is a pleasant one, and we hope you'll join us again for your next vacation outing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to ad-lib and try to be funny. See, I can be just as dumb as Chip Zdarsky too. Computer Robot says, bye, guys. You're assuming our identity, Computer Robots? You don't do that in 2020, man. You just don't. You're canceled. Ronnie says, I can live without rewinding Iron Man back to the end of... I can live with rewinding Iron Man back to the end of Fractions Run and nuking what came after, right? Iron Man fans are 100% with Ash's idea. I'd rewind it further, though. RDV says, Nick Fury kept her secret. Oh, that damn Nick Fury. He kept his blackness a secret, too. Yeah. We all thought he was a white guy for the longest time. And it turned out, oh, he's really black. But he had to fake it because otherwise he could have never ascended to the top of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Ronnie says, everyone out there, take care and stay safe. I'm going to echo that. When's our next show? Today's Tuesday. So next show will be Thursday. We'll be beating Next-Men number 3 and Spectacular Spider-Man number 3. Hope to bring even more entertainment at that time. Hopefully you enjoy it. Thanks for being here with me, talking about comics. If you're listening and not in the chat, that's fine too. Unfortunately, I just don't get to see you to address you. So any lurkers out there, thank you. I encourage you to jump in. Everyone here is friendly, a lot of regulars. We like to talk about comics, share your opinions. We don't bite, except for Maranya. She has a tendency to once in a while. So you got to be careful. I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Same Ash channel, same Ash time.